We are back with another live episode of the Bully Ball podcast on the Gold Standard Podcast Network. I'm Jason Aponte. That's Steph Sanchez. Steph, before we put on a generational performance today, I want to make sure that everybody knows about community tree service. Okay, tree trimming, land clearing, hazard tree removal, home fire hardening, and debris removal from the Central Coast up to the Bay Area. Estimates are free. Call 831-763-2391. Email e estimating. I'm sorry, can't even read. Estimating at cts831.com or visit their website at communitytree.com to schedule an appointment. Mention that you are a 49ers fan to receive a $200 discount on your quote. Mention that you're a Seahawks, Cowboys, or Eagles fan to receive a $200 increase. And wow, we can't start at a better place right now. Steph, sometimes you wake up, the birds aren't chirping, mornings aren't morning like they should. Today's not that day, Steph. First of all, before we get into all this, how are you, Steph?
I'm sensational. I am feeling great. I mean,
Sensational.
this wild card weekend went as perfect as it could have, didn't it, Jay? Didn't it?
Ooh,
I mean, it
man,
just
coffee
perfect.
tastes good.
The even the coffee tastes a little bit better today, doesn't
Ooh, this coffee tastes a little good, man. It's just
it?
I'm good.
Cheers, brother.
Well, yeah, cheers. Look, last week obviously I wasn't feeling as well, so I didn't make it. If you thought today I was going to miss today, you don't know me very well. Our group chat was going crazy last night with hey, what are we gonna do tomorrow? You know what we're gonna do. Um the San Francisco 49ers didn't play this week. But I gotta say, Steph, it feels like the San Francisco 49ers won this entire weekend somehow. Um,
Of course,
and it's not
absolutely.
because and it's not because you're worried about this team and I'm worried about them and playing them and everything as well too. Let me ask you this question, Steph. If I would have told you in September, the final four in the NFC, the quarterbacks that will be playing, the final four, Brock Purdy, Jordan Love, Jared Goff, Baker Mayfield, what would you have said?
Again, I would have said sensational because I remember a quote that Kyle said. I've been trying to find it for the life of me. I could not actually, but he does these interviews with Greg Papa, and Papa asked him, if he can choose like a team to play, like who would he want to face in the next round? And basically, like Kyle didn't name a specific team, but he said you definitely want to avoid like the better quarterbacks. So when you name some of those quarterbacks that you just named, aside from Brock Purdy, because we love our
Mhm,
quarterback,
mhm,
I think that's the best case scenario, right? Just the 49ers defense going up against some of those. You have to love their chances going up against any of those quarterbacks that are
mhm.
remaining. So yeah, I would say that this is sensational.
You said the best quarterbacks, and I kind of want to let's start there. Can we start there real quick? Um,
There
just
you
the most
go.
generic way to say it. Most people, if you have your choice, you'd like to avoid the better quarterbacks. Shanahan said on Tobert and Copes. That's always the hardest
Always
thing in the
can do
playoffs is the top quarterbacks. I have a hot take. Had to get some coffee in me real quick. The best quarterbacks in the NFC are playing this week. They are. You try to tell
There we
me
go.
all season, Dak Prescott's an MVP candidate. You try to tell me all season Jalen Hurts is one of those guys. Wrong and wrong. Jared Goff, he did what Detroit needed them to do. I I have a hard time right now saying that there are better quarterbacks in the NFC than the ones that are here. Jordan Love has been playing phenomenal football. Phenomenal
Hmm.
football.
Yep.
21 touchdowns, one interception in the last few weeks. Just incredible. Um Jared Goff did what Matthew Stafford never could do. Win a playoff game. Happened to beat Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford's been playing very good football. I do want to say this. The Los Angeles Rams are not absolved from what's about to happen here on this podcast. But the Los Angeles Rams played the best game out of anybody in the NFC this entire week, and they were very close. That's how good they are. This is what we were talking about. I'm not worried about the Los Angeles Rams, but the Los Angeles Rams were the team that you probably didn't want to see because they're annoying, and they were annoying to the Detroit Lions. Oh, but my goodness, man. Where do we start? Do we start with the Cowboys? Oh, let's start first with the Dallas Cowboys, and then we'll get to what happened with the Philadelphia Eagles. Oh, I got something for that. We'll see you next time, Micah Parsons. It's not just
Laugh
you
now,
though.
cry
Like,
later.
laugh now, cry later. No, cry now.
Yeah.
Cry now, cry then, cry now. Cry then and cry now. Oh dear, the Dallas Cowboys. So let's start with this. I thought the Dallas Cowboys would lose this game. I didn't think they would lose in this fashion. Again, when I watch Scarface, I don't expect Tony Montana to live at the end. When I watch certain movies, I don't expect the hero to win. But I didn't expect that. I did not expect it. Like a thorough beatdown at Jerry's World. The last team to beat the Dallas Cowboys in Dallas were the San Francisco 49ers with Jimmy Garoppolo. But they didn't even beat them as bad as the Packers did. Dan Quinn, pack your bags, pal. I hope you love Seattle because you are the next Seattle Seahawks head coach. Oh dear, Steph Sanchez. I want you to start it, and then we can just keep going in on the Dallas Cowboys here.
Should Seattle even want Dan Quinn at this point? I mean,
I
if
think
they
so.
hire him, I would probably celebrate at this point because I think Shanahan offenses have proven that they have every single answer to that test. And yeah, I would have to say between the Eagles and the Cowboys, which one was the worst loss? What's funny is they're both like laughing at each other, like, ha ha, see, you lost too. But
Yeah.
they're not looking themselves in the mirror.
Oh yeah.
So I thought the Cowboys loss was way worse than the Eagles one because at least the Eagles were kind of on the decline before even getting to the playoffs. It was actually kind
Uh-huh.
of embarrassing to see a playoff team be talked about the way we saw the Eagles getting talked about leading up to this game. And so we kind of
Uh-huh.
already expected the outcome, right? But for the Dallas Cowboys, all the talking they do, oh, this is our year, saying this is the best Cowboys team we've seen. It's probably since the last Super Bowl they won. And
Uh-huh.
yet, still the same old story, like you say, Jay. You expect the movie to end this way with the Dallas Cowboys. But I'm right. I mean, you're right. I didn't expect it to end in this fashion. Like they
Yeah.
folded.
Yeah.
They folded from the start of the game and they just could not. They don't have, I don't know what it is about them. Like they're
Oh.
good teams in the regular playoff or in the regular season. They do
Uh-huh.
this and that,
Uh-huh.
they hype each other up. They hype their
Mhm.
fans up. Poor fans. Poor fans.
Not poor
But
fans. Nope.
yeah,
Nope.
no,
Not
I
them
know.
either. Nope. They're
I
gonna
know.
get cooked too. Keep going.
You gotta be a real sicko to enjoy this Cowboys downfall, man. I am on my deathbed right now. I am on my deathbed enjoying this Cowboys downfall.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just the same old Cowboys. That's the
Yeah.
new saying. We had the same old Lions, the SOL. SOC, man. That's the new
Yeah.
one. And it's the same old story with Dak. It goes way beyond Dak, like Tony
Uh-huh.
Romo days. It's incredible at this point.
Yeah.
And so I don't even know what to say besides, well, you should have just seen this coming. You should have seen this coming. All right. And Micah Parsons, maybe you want to
Mhm.
join a real contender at some point in your
Ooh.
career because it's not going to
Ooh.
happen with the Dallas Cowboys. I'll tell you
Ooh.
that right now.
Man, I thought I was gonna be the one that's out here wilding, but Steph is out here cooking. Um, I tend to get labeled as an extremist, right? So when I start yelling in week 9, in week 10, that the Philadelphia Eagles and Dallas Cowboys are nobody that you should concern yourself with. Oh, it's an overreaction, Jason. How can you say that? How can you say that? Because it's just one game. No. Rob, don't bleep it out. The Dallas Cowboys are fucking frauds, and they will be until I go to my grave. at this point. It's never going to change. Okay, rinse and repeat. The Dallas Cowboys beat teams that's supposed to beat. They make you believe that Dak's an MVP every single year. Why all of a sudden now is this year somehow different, right? Somehow different. No, it's never different. It's the same thing. All they ever want to do is tell you how they are tough, how we're tough, we're bullies. This is different. It's not different. Jerry Jones is the denominator, the common denominator. Jerry Jones, you deserve nothing and you get nothing. Cowboys fans, if you believed that this was your year, I blame you. Michael Parsons, did I even see you, pal? Did you even play in this game? Why is it in the biggest games I never see you? So I just want to ask questions about people and their expectations with the Cowboys. I don't understand. You beating the Washington Commanders, you beating the New York Giants, you beating the Philadelphia Eagles. Ha ha ha, the Philadelphia Eagles aren't good either. Oh, I'm not done with y'all either. Just give me a second. You beating up on teams in your trash division does not make you tough. Because when it's time for you to play somebody who's good, you lose. Miami Dolphins, San Francisco 49ers. Anybody who's actually good, winning records, you can never do it. You can never do it. So, was I shocked that they lost? No. I was shocked that they got their ass whipped by the Green Bay Packers and Jordan Love looked like number 12 back there. I'm not shocked. But the Dallas Cowboys, I don't give a shit who you get this entire offseason. Bring back Michael Irvin, Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith. Bring them all back. The results are in. You are, in fact, not like that. And no one ever believes you are. I don't know what else I need to do. And for everybody, it's like, oh, Jason, you're being too, optimistic, or you're being. I don't play football. I just watch it. So when I watch the Dallas Cowboys beat trash. All the time, every year. It's not something I made up. It's not something I did for clicks and views. The Dallas Cowboys stink, and they always will. I don't care who we have to play. Regardless of that, the San Francisco 49ers are better than everyone else in the NFC. And I never once considered the Dallas Cowboys and Philadelphia Eagles in that category. Never once. If you, the viewer, 49ers fan who is smarter than everybody else, believe that, that's your business. But that's your fault. Because there was no reason to ever think that they were that good. Steph, I can't believe that team went out there. Jerry's World, big game. Well, it's just Jordan Love. It's just the Packers. Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
They were undefeated.
Couldn't be my team getting watched like that.
They were undefeated at home this season. That's that part too. And that's why I thought they would at least win this game. Like, at least they'd come away with this win and probably just lose the next round in the divisional. But I wasn't expecting this beatdown. But once it started, I was like, yeah, no, they're done.
Yeah.
Because they just got the life beat out of them real quick, and you just knew they were defeated. They were playing defeated from the moment the game started. Like, and they can't come back from that because they don't have they don't have the culture. They don't have like the character to be able to come back from that.
Gavin says, how are both of your playoff predictions going? Swimmingly wrong. And I'm so happy. Swimmingly wrong. I couldn't be more happy. First of all, D'Amico Ryans, hello. Good job, buddy.
Hell yeah.
You get Baltimore. Hell yeah. That's the first one that we get out the way. The Chiefs, I think we all knew they were going to beat Miami. I think that's fine. I didn't have the stones to pick the Packers. I'm talking all this craziness or whatever, but I didn't have the stones to pick the Packers to at least win that game. So I got that one wrong. And the Bucks and Eagles, I think we could have kind of seen that coming, so we might as well just move to that one. Oh dear, Philadelphia Eagles. Again, when I call people frauds in week 10, oh, you're jumping out the window, Jason. Can you stop? It was just one game. They'll figure it out. They have championship medal. Hey, shit, Big Dom. Good to see you on the sideline, pal. Make sure you check on that Rocky Balboa statue because the Tampa Bay Bucks went and they threw everything on it. Joe Frazier's more sick than Rocky Balboa.
I
Oh
mean,
my God.
Big Dom and Rocky could probably go out there and tackle better than some of the effort we saw from the Eagles last night.
Big Dom, I was happy that you weren't in a hotel room watching because Blood thinks he's on the team. Oh, you're on the team, all right.
But thinks he's on the team.
Big ass L. Blood thinks he's on the team. Oh dear. 9 points. Stephanie Sanchez, 9 points. 9. That means 9 points more than you and I scored. And we don't play football. 9 points. That's how many points they put up. Um, push merchant. I don't know. There's so many things I want to say, Steph, but I'm gonna let you get your very articulate analysis off, and then I can just blab. But what is blood waffling about?
Dude, I think we knew that this was going to be the outcome of the game. Like the Eagles, I've been saying it, they're a wounded bird, like walking into the playoffs. Like we knew they were not going to make any noise, especially against this Bucks team. Like the Bucks, like people are looking at them like they're scrubs, but even they, who scored 9 points against the Carolina Panthers in the last week of the season, could put a beat down on this Eagles team. I mean, they're just lost. They look absolutely lost out there, especially on defense, especially without AJ Brown. I mean, they can't tackle for shit. Sorry,
Oh,
but they just
sorry, bleep it out, Rob.
they bleep it out. But they cannot do it. And they need help. They need big help. And Jason Kelsey announced his retirement. Actually,
Shout
one
out to
Eagle
him,
I
man.
can tolerate because he's
Yeah,
he's
hell yeah.
a generational talent, that guy. But they're in trouble, man. They're in trouble because there's a lot of guys who are going to be probably making their exits out of Philadelphia, being free agents. And I might say, Nick Sirianni might be one of them.
Oh,
It would not surprise me.
I don't
I'm
hear
just
nothing
saying.
now.
Yeah, right. That whole so that was the beginning of the end, I think, for the Eagles,
Oh
right?
yeah.
That Chiefs game. That
Yep.
was their Super Bowl, which was funny because when the 49ers beat the Eagles, all their fans were like, this was your guys' Super Bowl. No, the week before was your guys' Super Bowl, and you guys
Yeah.
couldn't even win shit after that.
Yeah.
So, and you had Nick Sirianni acting a fool, throwing up the bird. His bird got shot down. His birds
Wow.
got shot down
Wow.
several
All
times
right.
after that. So, yeah, I'm gonna let you cook, Jay. It's your turn.
Now, look, with the Eagles, these are the bare facts. There are 16 teams in the NFC. There's 16 in the AFC. Here's where the Philadelphia Eagles rank defensively. In the NFC, out of 16 teams, 13th in yards allowed per game, 15th in passing yards allowed per game, 11th in interception rate, 10th in sacks per pass attempt, 14th in points per allowed, 15th on third down, 13th in goal-to-goal situations. What did you think was going to happen in this game? What did you think was going to happen? It's not magically the Eagles are going to find a way to snap out of it. The only reason they won a game in their last 6 games is because the Giants didn't want to win in that one game on Christmas Day. That's it. The Giants didn't want to win. They were this close to beating them. They should have been 0-6 down the stretch. Imagine going 10-1. 10-1 and finishing 11-6. That's insane. This collapse needs a 30 for 30, needs to be studied. There's no Philadelphia team that is folded in this way after doing so much of this. And if you think I'm getting up off them, never. Never. You know why? Because even after the Philadelphia Eagles and their fans lost the Super Bowl, well, at least we beat the Niners. Well, your quarterback, if you would have protected better, and Rocky Balboa lost 23 fights. Who cares? Y'all are trash. Enjoy this one. Enjoy getting sent home early. So good. I feel like this weekend couldn't have gone any better. And not even because I was nervous. I've said this many times. My dream scenario for the 49ers making the Super Bowl is bouncing the Eagles in the divisional, then bouncing the Dallas Cowboys in the NFC Championship to get there. Now, it's neither of you. Oh dear. Oh, it's neither
This
of
is way
you. Oh
better.
dear. I feel like a kid like on Christmas, right? It's like you wanted that Nintendo 64 and your parents actually got it for you. They actually got it for you. But it's just hilarious to study the downfall of the Philadelphia Eagles and how this all happened. And so much of this was there, but it's masked with winning. When they were 10-1, you struggled with the New England Patriots. You should have lost to the Kansas City Chiefs, should have lost to the Buffalo Bills. And we all kind of just sat there and said, you know what? That's not championship medal. They kind of won these games because they've been there. Nah, they were just lucky. Everything else like falls completely apart. This team is broken. Nick Sirianni, pack your bags. I hope you like Walmart because you're about to be a Walmart greeter. You better start circling those receipts, pal, because you need to look for a job. Mike McCarthy, Mike McCarthy, Indeed.com's your friend because you're out of here too as well, man. I don't know, Steph. I don't know what else we need to do right here on this show. If you came here for honest analysis and unbiased content, I apologize to you, but I am dancing on some graves, and I will not stop. I'm sorry. The most disappointing season, Cowboys or the Eagles? The Eagles. The Cowboys, you knew.
Really?
The Cowboys, you knew. You knew. It was going to happen eventually. But for the Eagles to be 10-1, go 1-5, and then finish in that way against Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, that is far more disappointing. And Big Dom was there. So they can't blame that anymore. Big Dom was there. Dom, what's up, buddy? I hope you enjoyed food there in Tampa Bay, or you gave a bunch of good recommendations, because that's the only good thing that happened in Tampa Bay. Whew, man. Steph, I'm gonna let you talk for a little bit, man, because I'm
Man,
just, yeah.
most disappointing. Okay, most disappointing loss. I would definitely say the Cowboys, but most disappointing season, definitely the Eagles, because of how they started the season, how they ended last year. This was a team that went to the Super Bowl, people, like, and to be bounced in the first round of the playoffs the following year is pretty bad. At least when the 49ers, like, had that bad season after the Super Bowl, was because they had injuries on top of injuries, and that was
Yeah.
just like a fluke of a year. But you hyped up your entire fan base to think that you was going back there. And, the Cowboys, you could argue the same, like they do that every year, but you kind of know what to expect after a while. So, yeah, but I'm going to just end on this. Yeah, here we go. Cancun on 3.
Whoa. Whoa. Look, man, I thought I was cooking, man. Steph is putting up wilt numbers right now on this podcast. Look, I just want to say this. Yes, Jason Aponte yells, gets things wrong all the time, is overzealous. But remember who told you during the season that both of these teams were frauds and nobody cares.
You had it early.
And
You had it real
yeah,
early.
I
Jay
had it
always
really
does.
early.
Jay always
I
does.
had it really early.
Just saying.
Look, after you lose to the 49ers by 30 points, Dallas Cowboys, Philadelphia Eagles, you are no longer a part of the conversation. You are no longer a part of the conversation. You can't sit at this table. You can't sit with us. We wear pink on Wednesdays. You don't sit here with us. You're not here, okay? You can bring up the Baltimore game. Cool, bring it up. They're in the AFC. We'll see them again eventually. But nobody in the NFC beat the brakes off the San Francisco 49ers like that. Nobody. Not you, not Seattle, nobody. So there's nobody in the NFC that could have seen the 49ers like that.
Could I play devil's advocate for a second to shift the conversation back to the 49ers now? So the 49ers put a beat down on the Cowboys, early in the season. They put a beat down on the Eagles that started their decline, their downfall. And both of those teams are frauds, right? Like we've now established they're frauds.
Mm-hmm.
So who have and I'm only asking this because I've gotten this question and I'm curious to see how you answer it.
Mm-hmm.
So the 49ers beat those teams. Who have the 49ers beaten that have actually been good? How would you answer that?
So that's a good question, because when people say, have the 49ers beaten any good teams? After they beat the Dallas Cowboys, I was like, they still haven't, because they're not good. After they beat the Philadelphia Eagles, I said, they still haven't, because they're not good. But they're the teams that you thought were supposed to be in the way. We all thought, hey, it's got to go through them, right?
Mm-hmm.
There is a little something to the idea of like, okay, now you've got these teams that are kind of rolling a little bit in the right direction. So I think what everybody is talking about right now is about, and let's shift it to the 49ers. We've danced on the Eagles and Cowboys grave. By the way, enjoy Cancun. You guys think. There's a little something to the idea of like, oh, should we be afraid of the Green Bay Packers? And Steph, I have a lot of pushback on that. 100%. Um, the Green Bay Packers beat the Dallas Cowboys, but that doesn't make them good. Not that they're not good. Okay, let me take that back. Not that they're not good. They are good. But now I'm supposed to be scared of the Green Bay Packers because they beat the Dallas Cowboys? I'm supposed to be scared of the Green Bay Packers that still has that defense that Kyle Shanahan is about to run circles around and attack? I don't understand, for me, why now all of a sudden I need to be afraid of the Packers when you weren't afraid of them before they came in here just because they beat the Dallas Cowboys? Just because you beat the Dallas Cowboys? I mean, how many teams have beaten the Dallas Cowboys? A bunch. Jordan Love's playing phenomenal football right now.
Yeah.
Jordan Love is playing phenomenal football right now. Let's make sure we get that straight. But now I need to be nervous about the Green Bay Packers because they beat the Dallas Cowboys? Steph, the math's not mathing right now for me.
I want to be very clear, Jay. And yesterday I kind of found the way to like best articulate this because I was trying to find a way without me saying that I'm worried and scared, because it's not that I'm worried and scared. Like, that is not the right term, and everyone takes it to mean, though, oh, like how are you going to be worried about the Rams? How are you going to be worried about the Packers? See, like, any time that you respect your opponent and, I don't know, just say that anything can happen like any given Sunday, like, I feel like that gets like misconstrued. But we saw that anything can happen any given Sunday, right? This weekend was a great example of that. Yeah. And so I'm not scared. I'm not worried because the 49ers, I think, are far and away the better team in every single category. You can make the argument, Jordan Love or Brock Purdy. That's the only argument you can make. Every other position, the 49ers have the advantage.
And that's just an argument at this point. That's just an argument. Like that's not even like a fact. It's not objective. Like, it's not saying like Tom Brady's coming in. Like, you could make the argument that you feel that Jordan Love has played better football than Brock these last few weeks. You could say that. Yeah. I might not agree, but that is an argument you can make 100%.
Yeah, and so I think they're riding off of the success that they're having with Jordan Love right now because he's playing some really great football right now. And they're playing freely because they're a very young team. They're playing with house money. They weren't really expecting to be here. They were 9-8 in the regular season. They're just happy to be here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they went in and they took down the number 2 seed. So they got to feel really great about themselves after that game. As soon as that goes away and you can limit Jordan Love and what he does, 49ers then playing with house money, that's how I feel about this game. And so I think you got to be cautious about Jordan Love and what he does just because he's been playing so well as of late. But I just simply, I don't see this going any further, Jay. I really don't. And the reason is because, look, I was impressed with how the Packers played against the Cowboys, but that was the Cowboys. Oh, yeah. Like, we've seen the 49ers defense have some really good days against the Cowboys as well. And it's because, that offense just, it's pretty limited and they don't have a lot of answers. They don't adjust. Kyle Shanahan is going to put these young Packers defenders in an absolute blender. All right. Yeah. He already has someone under the microscope. I'm sure maybe a couple guys, as we know, our coach does.
Campbell. I'm sorry, pal. Devondre Campbell's a good player, but it's your time, man. It's just you. I hate it had to be you, man. I hate it had to be you, but yes.
Yeah, and, they're coming off a game where they played, I think Valentine played like 90 snaps. I think a couple other guys played upwards of like 70 snaps on defense.
And think about their rest. Their rest is shorter. Yeah, it's shorter. It's shorter for them. And they've got to come back after 90 snaps. So they've got to do that. Like, and the 49ers are home. This is why you need home field. You get to sit back, you get to laugh, and you get to watch people. It's crazy. The Packers dominated that game, but their defense was on the field for 90 snaps. There's no way
and
that's not important.
And this is why there's that argument between like rust and rest, because yeah, like the Packers are coming in with some momentum, but that's going to fizzle out because of the lack of rest. And you saw there's a number of injuries that they sustained, including Jair Alexander, their top corner, who had
Yeah.
CeeDee Lamb in hell.
Yeah.
He re-aggravated his ankle injury, so something to see throughout the week. And Ikbare ACL tear. He's one of their rotational pass rushers. Yep. And so they're hurting as well. So, I expect the 49ers to be focused, one, because we saw the upsets this past week. There's no excuse for the 49ers to act like they're not prepared for a hungry Packers team or anything like that. But like I said, far and away, the 49ers are the better team. So, and I think they're going to go out and prove it. They're going to make a statement.
If the 49ers are who we think they are, they should take care of business.
Exactly.
If they can't beat the Packers, then they don't deserve it, clearly. Like, I'm not worried about it too much in terms of that, because the 49ers are the better team. And if you think that we're overlooking the Packers, Steph and I can overlook the Packers all we want. The San Francisco 49ers will not overlook the Packers, which is important. They're the ones who play the football games. We get to speak and say whatever we want. They have to play. And I know that they will be ready. They have something in mind that's bigger. They've gotten too close. There's no way that they're going to overlook the Packers. This is supposed to be essentially like a warm-up game before the game that they really need to win. So I'm not worried about the 49ers coming out flat against the Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers defense cannot hold the San Francisco 49ers offense. They're going to be ready. They're ready to go. Kyle's salivating. He's ready to go. And Gammon's donation said, am I worried about officiating? No. And you shouldn't allow officiating to dictate the end of a game. Finish the game early. Get it done. This is one of those walk-away games. And Wolf Like Wild said, by the way, enjoy Cancun. You guys stink. Aponte has gold. I'm late. Going to be a close game or ass whipping. It's going to be an ass whipping. It's going to be an ass whipping. This is going to be a game where, regardless of, I see it, about rain. I see it. Mm-hmm. The San Francisco 49ers is going to run the football as much as they want, whenever they want, however they want. I mean, it's just, look, respecting your opponent, being superstitious, I understand all that. I completely get that. But you have to use your mind and your heart to know that the San Francisco 49ers are far and away better than the Green Bay Packers. And a few games is not going to push me away from the fact that I know that this team is better. Were the Dallas Cowboys better? Sure. Were they bound to fail? Sure. 100%. But the 49ers are not them. This is going to be an ass whipping. The 49ers are going to take care of business against Jordan Love. And Jordan Love's had a great year. But man, this team is much better than the Green Bay Packers. Like, I find myself today, Tuesday, 11:36 Eastern. I find it harder and harder for me to convince myself that this was going to be a game. And a little bit to Steph's point about, the Rams and all that stuff. The Rams were the ones who actually put up the best game this weekend. And it just and that goes to show you that we weren't afraid of them, but you knew that they weren't going to lay down. They weren't going to lay down. They weren't going to get rolled on. That's what makes the Rams annoying. That's what makes them annoying. It's a divisional game. They're not going to lay down. They're going to play well. They did. They were right there. They lost by 1 point. That's what we were talking about. Doesn't mean that we think that the Rams were better than the Niners, but they always pose the weirdest game for the 49ers. Not Green Bay, not Tampa Bay, maybe Detroit. We'll see who I believe they're gonna meet in the NFC Championship. But that's what we were talking about. We weren't talking about the Rams as like, oh my God, this is some doomsday scenario. It's about divisional game. They know how to play football. They played well. They almost won that game. They almost won that game. They were the only NFC team that was actually competitive this weekend, really. And that's crazy to say. But yeah, it's again, like, I understand respecting your opponent. I understand, hey, anything can happen. Oh, they're hot. If you don't believe the 49ers are going to win this game, then you never believed in them all year. And that's kind of crazy to me, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think those two are different things. Like, yeah, you can respect the opponent and also, truly believe that the 49ers going to take this one. And I do think they're going to take this one. And I do think even if it rains, like I think that could favor the 49ers because I think you go with a run heavy game plan. And regardless, I think the 49ers should go with the run heavy game plan because remember what Steve Young said. And if this holds true, Steve Young said he didn't like Brock Purdy resting in week 18 because he felt, what was it? He's like, for every game that I missed, I needed like a half of football to get back into it. I think it was a half or a quarter, whatever it was. That being said, like if Brock goes into this and he's rusty for any reason, you know how you can help that? Christian McCaffrey. You have
Yeah.
Christian fucking McCaffrey. Like you run the ball with him. And sorry for swearing so much today, Rob. Bleep it
No, hell
out.
no.
But
Hell no. For our audio
but
listeners, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The bleep
yeah, I'm
button's getting a
sorry.
workout, but but you should be as juiced as we are.
Yeah, so I think it should be a run heavy game plan because I don't think the Packers could stop Christian McCaffrey. Sure, they could stop Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard is not McCaffrey, respectfully.
Oh,
Disrespectfully, actually.
you sure Skip Bayless would say that he's better than Christian McCaffrey. Ooh, we getting
Well,
everybody.
that's funny because his jersey probably ended up in the automatic trash can, and
Watching him melt down and yell that he wanted Dak Prescott God and everything as well too. It's like I won twice. I don't know what it is. I don't know Skip Bayless. I've never met him in my life, but I feel like I won twice watching the Cowboys fans and especially him, the ultimate
yeah, the
Cowboy homer.
meltdown.
Oh, the meltdowns are just so good, man. I just love it so much. Like I literally went to YouTube and was like Cowboys meltdown, and I just was like,
He was
it
like
was
the
like
first video.
literally like warming my hands on fire, like literally just on TV, just putting my because they're in there screaming, yelling, foaming at the mouth. Get rid of Dak, get rid of McCarthy, reset this whole thing.
Put
Oh
Trey
God.
Lance in. Yo,
Oh my God.
you're in trouble. You know you're in
It
trouble.
just I just again, man, Christmas was a few weeks ago. I feel like Christmas like came early or later, whatever. This weekend, I can't even speak. My goodness, man, I'm so happy. But yes, back to this game a little bit. Look, the Green Bay Packers. Kyle Shanahan knows that defense. Joe Barry, strap your boots up because it's coming for you now. Like it's going to be one of those games, right? And a little bit to your point about like being, I guess, rusty, whatever it is. I mean, the San Francisco 49ers team won a playoff game in which Jimmy Garoppolo threw 8 passes. And when his shoulder was destroyed and his thumb was messed up, I mean, I don't think they scored an offensive touchdown against the Green Bay Packers that year in that snow game.
Mhm.
It's they're gonna find a way to get it done, right? Like, and I think obviously, even if Brock is, whatever, rusty for a series two, it'll be fine. I think this team is too loaded. They understand what's going on. They're too healthy. Everybody's back. There's nothing in the way of this team anymore. That's not me disrespecting the Packers. It's just looking objectively on the other side. That team can't stand on the same field as the San Francisco 49ers, even on their best day. The Packers could have their best day. The 49ers could not have their best day. And the 49ers will still find a way to win that game. That like you have to play a perfect game on the other side and hope the 49ers vomit all over themselves. And that's just not gonna happen. It's not
Well,
gonna
Jay,
happen.
I think they just had their best game. The Packers did.
Yeah,
Can they do it twice?
yeah.
And even if they do it twice, is that enough to beat the 49ers? Like that's the question, and I think the answer is no
No,
on both of those. So I think that's really what it comes down to, and that's not to disrespect the Packers. Like we've said, I think they're playing good football on the offensive side. I like the receivers. Really fun team to watch. Just is not going to happen this year for them.
yeah. And that's the thing is the Packers could play their best game, do everything right, execute their game plan as best as they want, and still lose. That's how you know the team on the other side's better. That's what I'm always going to bet on. Is this team what they're building to, what they knew they were on the preface of, and what they know is in front of them right now. I don't think it gets any easier than this right now. When it comes to that. And that's the thing. It's like I want to give the Packers credit. I really do want to give the Packers credit, man, because I think they started like 2-5, something like that to that effect. And for them to be able to pull it together, look like Matt LaFleur might be on the outs because he was, frustrated. It's still something that you can say objectively is a nice story. But sorry, your
Mhm.
story has to come to an end this Saturday. And it's fine. Matt LaFleur, great job this year. I mean, you win a playoff game. Jordan Love, I mean, did they find somebody else? Like, how does this Packers organization go from Favre, Rodgers, maybe Love? Like,
That's so
what
unfair.
it is. It's just imagine being able to just pivot from quarterback to quarterback. We'll see. It was, obviously Jordan Love, that's 1 year, but you want to give them credit and you want to make sure that you're respectful of the opponent and you want to make sure that you're objective because they do have dogs, right? Like Preston Smith and and Rashawn Gary and obviously if Jair doesn't play, they've got dogs. Like they've got guys that can play. I like Aaron Jones a lot. I think their receiving core is young. But when you look at that, that should be more impressive to Jordan Love. But at the same time, I just have a hard time believing that the San Francisco 49ers are not going to be ready for them and just will be blindsided, especially with the familiarity between LaFleur, Shanahan, Joe Barry. Shanahan's ready to like cook this thing up on them and they can do whatever they want at this point. I'm not necessarily as worried as I would be if this was someone else, right? Like even if it was Philly, I wouldn't be worried. But with the Packers, I feel less worried, clearly, just because I don't think they can stand on that same field with the 49ers.
There's only one team left in the NFC that I think matches up well with the 49ers. Not to say that they are better than the 49ers. I don't think they are, but as far as like matchups go, the Lions, right? Like and that's probably the team. I'm making my picks for the weekend now. That's
Yeah.
probably the team that, the 49ers would
Detroit
have to
Niners in the
beat.
NFC Championship. Yeah.
Yeah.
Detroit Niners in
Yeah.
the NFC
Yeah. Yeah.
Championship. Yeah.
So those two teams match up well. All that to say, like, I don't think it would have mattered who the 49ers would have been facing
Yep.
in this divisional round. Like I would have favored the 49ers in all of them. And, trying to say that unbiasedly as well, but I think it's true. I think most football fans would agree. And that's evidenced by the, 10 point, what is it? The minus 10 they're favored by. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I think everyone else agrees as well. And I truly don't even think like the Packers believe that they're gonna take this all the way. Like we
No.
said, like they're just happy to be there. In the back of their minds, maybe very, very subconsciously, like they know they're not going all the way.
Yeah.
Like so at some point that's gonna rear its ugly head. And I think it's gonna be on Saturday.
Yeah. And again, this Saturday, I'm excited to see this 49ers team get back out there, get healthy, keep everybody healthy. You get Eric Armstead back. You're going to get Jair Brown back. I mean, this team is just, they're in a prime position right now to do something very special. And when you look at the field that's left, I think Steph is right. Like, they've already beaten the Bucks. They sure as shit can beat the Packers. The Detroit Lions stand to be the last test, and Detroit deserves it, man. It's really fun to see that happening for them, but I hate that it's got to come at the hands of the 49ers. It just is what it is. You're just a team in the way right now at this point. But I think that regardless of who would have won, even if Philly and Dallas win, you still don't sit there and say there's anyone in the NFC that can beat the 49ers. The 49ers can only beat
Yeah.
themselves. And Brian Boucher says, concern is Russ being flat, not completely unprepared, which Dallas looked like. 100%. 100%. Sure, there might be moments where, maybe they look rusty, maybe they're a little flat. They're still good enough to overcome that, and they're still not facing a team that can capitalize on that in a way that scares you, right? Like you're not going to find yourself down 28-0, 21-0, whatever to the Green Bay Packers. So sure. I mean, you can be concerned because it's been a long time, but I mean, just again, it didn't really matter who was going to be winning this weekend. The 49ers are really still the best team, and they have been the entire time in the NFC. They've literally beaten the top 3 seeds, 4 seeds every single time, right? Like, you know, they beat the they beat the Cowboys, they beat the Eagles, they beat the Bucks. Like, who else is there left for them to beat at this point? So, Nathaniel Glover says, "Go Pack, go." People still counting them out. Yeah, go Pack, go home. Like, don't get me started, please, man. I was trying to be respectful. But
Right.
like,
Yeah.
I was trying to be respectful. It's like the Eagles fans, the Cowboys fans, all of y'all pull up game week. All of y'all pull up game week. I love that, right? I love the enthusiasm. But y'all are nowhere to be found when your team gets smoked And this is going to be the same thing that happens again. It is rinse and repeat with all of you fan bases. Eagles fans were in here talking crazy. I don't even think they got internet connections now. The same thing with the Cowboys fans talking crazy or whatever. Michael Parsons goes on his podcast, has more sacks in that podcast than he does the entire time facing the 49ers. Don't come here talking crazy and then disappear. Okay? I respect the people that talk and then show up, but nobody ever does. So why are you poking the bear? Don't poke bears. Don't poke us. Chill out. Enjoy your time here. And it was a nice little run, but it's a dub. So don't come in here talking crazy and then leave. Steph, I'm tired of it, man. Every single week, the new fans, every single week, no matter who we're facing, they're always back and then they're gone. Where did y'all go? Did your internet connection go out? Do you pay for YouTube Premium and they you don't have anymore? Like, don't flake. Nobody would bother you if you didn't pop your head in here. No one would bother you. All we're doing is trying to be respectful. The Packers have had a good season, but it ends on Saturday. And that's your business now. Now, look, you're the ones who brought this up. I was chilling. But hey, now we're on the Packers' head. Because we're done with Philly. We're done with Dallas. Yeah, now we're on.
Backpack.
Oh, yeah. Now we're on the cheeseheads now. Don't come in here talking crazy and then leave. Please don't do that. Don't do that. Because I don't respect it. I respect people that come in here, talk crazy, and then show up, and then they say, you know what? Good game. I respect that. And I'll leave you alone. But that's not what's going to happen. Don't come in here talking about the Packers and then you're not pulling back up on Monday. Steph, please.
I think he already left, Jay. He hasn't. Yeah, we haven't even heard another peep.
He should make plans for the draft. Like, what pick y'all got?
Man.
I'm sorry. Don't get me started. Jason sounds just like Stats when he was on a podcast. Yo, Rob was cooking. Yo, that man.
Okay, Rob, angry man.
That man, I love it. That man was going off, and I was there for every moment of it. Yeah, I mean, he was saying basically some of the same things I'm saying. Now we need to be worried about the Green Bay Packers. Oh, now the Packers are the team that nobody. No. Stop. Everybody relax. It's still the 49ers and everyone else. Yo, Rob was cooking though. That's so good, man. This podcast network, it's gonna be a banner week. We're going like generational this week. This is Wilt Chamberlain numbers we're about to put up this entire week because I'm fairly certain that we're not done talking about the Cowboys and Eagles still. It's still Tuesday. We can focus on the Packers a little bit further down the line. But if you thought we're off your head, Jalen Hurts, what happened, buddy? That touch push can't get you all the way down the field, and Vita Vea is the way that you stop it. That's how we found out how to stop it. Just get Vita Vea. Dallas Cowboys. You better hope Bill Belichick is your answer. Otherwise, if you bring back, you have the chance to do the funniest thing in the world and bring back Mike McCarthy. That's the funniest thing that anybody could do.
Man,
bring back Mike McCarthy, man.
That'd be crazy. What's the definition of insanity again?
Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. Julie says Eagles are horrid and Cowboys choking the playoffs. Let's not be confused about the Packers and Bucks. Thank you. I love that. I love that so much. So good. See? Our fans are up early. It's 8:50 on the West Coast. We're up early cooking still. Yeah. Steph, I think this is a perfect place to end this. Look, bottom line, we told you, Dallas, Philly, frauds. Never once was there an issue. And we told you the team that you root for is the team that's the best in the NFC. And now it's all in front of them. It's right there. Don't let any one performance cloud your judgment over what you know. And what you know is the San Francisco 49ers are better than everybody, and they will be playing in Las Vegas. All they have to keep doing is just executing. That's it. Rod Simmons says, is this team focus? Are we done with 15 flags? 15-yard flags. Yes, this team is focused.
Ask Wisnowski, man.
Oh yeah, I know, right? Our all pro snub punter. That's insane. But no, this team is focused. Again, they're not gonna allow themselves to have a letdown against the Green Bay Packers. I just refuse to believe it. And if this team is what we think they are, then we shouldn't be worried about that. 100%, Steph. I'm not worried about it.
No, I'm not worried. I definitely think they're going to come out focused. And I just keep going back to what Fred said on his podcast. It's a new season. It's time to recommit. And I truly believe that because if you looked at like Fred and how he was playing, like, towards the second half of the season, once they wrapped up like the playoffs, basically, once they made it in, it was like, all right, cool, we're in. And now it's like, okay, now we're really in. It's a new season, like you said, and I just think they're going to be focused, like they are. I think we're going to see playoff
Oh,
Fred
unnecessary
on
roughness.
Saturday. Oh, unnecessary
He's
roughness. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So that would
Ask
be
Drake Greenlaw.
Trey Greenlaw. That's Trey Greenlaw's music. I think
Drake Greenlaw's
he's
music.
I think he's gonna be aggressive like he always is.
Yeah.
But he knows what it is, and at this point, he's had so many of those that I think he knows when to dial it back a little bit. The good thing is, like, I don't know Jordan Love to be like a mobile quarterback or anything like that, so I don't think there's that danger of those flags in there. So, yeah, I think they're going to be disciplined in this game. And actually, the Packers are, I forget, like they were like 10th worst within the final 10 of in flags in their season.
All
So
right.
25th in
That's
penalties
good.
this year. There you go. So,
Wow.
um, yeah, and they had quite a few against the Cowboys actually, but it just
Yeah.
didn't hurt them because, you know, they set
Cowboys
up that
stink.
game pretty early.
Because the Cowboys stink. All right. The Niners are favored by 10 against the Green Bay Packers next weekend. This is the perfect place to end this. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell for when we go live. Subscribe to the Gold Standard Podcast Network wherever you get your audio podcasts. Make sure you go to goldstandardniners.com. Make sure you follow Steph on Twitter at Steph49K. Make sure you follow me on Twitter or X, whatever the kids are calling it, Jason Aponte 2103. San Francisco 49ers have a game on Saturday that they're going to win. The Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles do not have a game this weekend. Oh, they do. It's golf. For Steph, for Jay, we're out here.
Peace.